kutegereria kindness.
Attention up. Bayar yang jual good one, mas. Look, look, Mungu yetu,
ilete baraka kwetu, ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na tupate mastawi.
Mungu twaomba ulinde
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutumize na malengo yetu, jumuiya yetu, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu, nguzo zetu,
tushangilie kepini shule tukufu, shule tunayoipenda
daima,
shule tunayoipenda
daima,
yenye wanafunzi bora kaunti ya Kirinyaga, shule tunayoipenda
daima,
shule tunayoipenda
daima.
Stop. Rap. Just lift and move.
Passing alone in the desert, tell of the days that we passed, how we was tired, was tempted, yet was not under glass. Tell of the story of the rivers, tell of the sorrows we bore. He was despised and afflicted, homeless, rejected, and poor. Tell me the story of Jesus, right of my heart, everyone. Tell me the story most precious, seekers that ever was found. Tell of the cross where they laid him, hanging in anguish and pain. Tell of the grave where they laid him, tell how he lived again. Loving the story so tender, near and never I see. Still I believe when you whisper, love with the ransom for me. Tell me the story of Jesus, light of my heart, everyone. Tell me the story most precious, seek and that ever was heard.
Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe tena. Amina. Kwa majina ni Lincoln Chuma kutoka 4E, na leo nawaletea neno kutoka kwa kitabu cha Jeremiah 18. Nitatumia Biblia ya Kizungu. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will let you hear my words. So I went down to the potter's house, and there he was working at his will. At the vessel he was making of clay was spoiled in the potter's hand, and he reworked it into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to do. Then the word of God came to me, O house of Israel, can I not do with you as this potter has done? Says the Lord. Behold, like the clay in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand. Sisi ndio nyungu. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwa hivyo wakati yenye mfinyanzi anaunda nyungu, si mnajua inakuanga na pado yenye inakanyagwa inazunguka. Wakati unafinyangwa na Mungu unatengenezwa. Mia walimu wanakutengeneza. Unaambiwa usifanye hivi, lakini utake kusikia, unaendelea kufanya kinyume. Uchunge, unaweza geuzwa uwe kitu kingine. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Ndio maana Biblia inasema kwa kitabu ya Ayubu, Job, ya kwamba mti kikatwa kinakusaidia ukuwe na nafasi ya kuwa chombo chema, ama ubadilishe ukuwe chombo ambacho utaki. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hilo ndilo neno la leo. Kwa afya, kwa usalama, kwa nguvu zako, rehema na neema zako Bwana majeshi. Asanti kwa kuwa umetufikisha mahali hapa, na pia mfalme wa amani ukatupa pumzi yako kwa bure Bwana majeshi. Zidi kuinuliwa, kupewa sifa kwa maisha yetu siku ya leo Bwana. Tulinde, kuwa nasi kutoka saa hii hadi jioni mfalme wa amani. Kuwa nasi Bwana majeshi, tuongoze na hili neno tusaidie. Tusiwe tu wa kulisikiza bali hadi kulifanya katika jina.
Kwanza na tangazo moja, ningependa kuambia kuwa awamu zimebadilishwa. Waliokuwa awamu ya kwanza mtakuwa mnapata chakula chenyu katika awamu ya pili. Awamu ni shift. So awamu ya pili itakuwa ni kidato cha 4 na cha kwanza, na pia msahau ilikuwa ni kidato cha kwanza na kidato cha tatu. Sasa mtaenda awamu ya kwanza. Umeeleweka? Pia msahau wakati muda sana. Natumaini wote kwa sasa mmeelewa hivyo. Tafadhali ukipata wakati wowote extra time, tafadhali tumie kudurusu vitabu. Asante.
Morning school. So far so good. We'd like to take this opportunity to appreciate every one of you for settling down very fast. That is commendable. The other thing is the phone calls. You are not collecting the litter. That is very bad of you. So, can you start collecting the litter around our school? Then the other thing is we are approaching the weekend. We expect total.
Nafasi hii licha ya kwamba tuna shughuli nyingi hii sheshe na adhimu, ili niweze kuzungumzia mawili matatu kuhusiana na lugha ya Kiswahili, kwa sababu kuna neno moja hapa ambalo linatumika sana na sijui huu msamiati umetoka wapi. Kila wakati mtu mwenye anakuja sijui venye anavyosema. Hicho Kiswahili kimeshamiri sana na ni makosa makubwa sana. Hii neno enye linatumika kama kivumishi na kama kiwakilishi kumaanisha kuwa na au kumiliki. Kwa hivyo ni makosa kusema sijui vyenye anasoma, sijui vyenye anakula, sijui mwenye anakuja. Manake sasa unasema sijui aliye na anakunja, sijui aliye na anakula. Neno enye linafuatwa na nomino, anayekula na kadhalika. Kwa hivyo neno hilo matumizi yake tafadhali yasitumike hivyo tena. Jambo lingine na la kushangaza ni kwamba katika shule hii wanafunzi hawajui umuhimu wa kamusi. Hata ukiingia madarasa, niliingia darasa moja, ni wanafunzi 2 peke yake walikuwa na kamusi. Kila wakati unastahili kuwa na kamusi yako.
Asalamu alaikum. Basi ni asubuhi njema ambayo tumepata. Mwenyezi Mungu ametukirimia, na siku ya leo nataka kusema tulianza vizuri. Tumesetwa kwa haraka na tunashukuru. Kwa hivyo siku ya leo tunataka kuanzisha mwelekeo mpya katika shule yetu, ambayo inatazamiwa ya kwamba mwelekeo huu utaigwa na mashule mengine makuu, kwa sababu itakuwa kitu tofauti sana. Katika hali ya masomo ya 844 imekuwa ikisisitiza mambo ya kupita mitihani, na ni vyema, lakini tunakuta ya kwamba wanafunzi wengi wanapita mitihani na wanakosa maadili. Kwa hivyo that is why we are launching a very important program, and the government is looking unto us as Kiamutugu, and they will be monitoring what we are doing for the next 6 months, and we are supposed to give a report. That is why you can see we are taking even videos, because they are supposed to be sent on what we are doing concerning this program. The program is about inculcating academic progress and the virtues and the values and the morals. Because we know that when you educate somebody and he lacks morals or virtues, then you are just educating a criminal, and they become more dangerous. Therefore, the school sent us to Nairobi to learn about this so that we can train others. And Madam Boru, Mr. Moroni and I, and the discipline department, and the administration, and actually all the teachers, we formed a committee. The first committee has 7 people. We shall also incorporate the BOM member, 2 of them. Then it shall trickle down to the other administrators in the school and to the teachers and to all of us. We must participate in nurturing values in this school so that this school becomes a center of integrity. Say amen. Amen. Kiamutugu will become a center of what? Integrity. Tunataka kufuta Mr. Waweru kazi ya discipline. Kushangilia kwako kuwe na matunda, ni kumaanisha kwamba hata kuwa nasumbuka tena mambo ya discipline, kwa sababu you shall all be self disciplined. Home principals hawatazunguka, class teachers hawatazunguka. All of us will be at peace because they will be inculcated moral values. So I want to invite the key people. The patron of this club will be Madam Boru. I want to invite Mr. Muloni also. I want to invite the Peace Club member, Madam Muni. Is hard work. We are going to do it with Mr. Muloni, but although he has his more virtue. And how do I nurture hard work? I am going to nurture hard work through influencing you to do your personal exams and record your personal exams in a personal report book that will be in your class with a class monitor. Every single student here has a report form with your class monitor, and that report form, you will do your own exams, and you will record those exams in that book. The class that will have so many exams done by the students in that class, we shall see what to do to reward in a small way. The student who does so many exams in that class, we shall also reward you. Where will you get the exams? Form 1, you can get your exams from the Form 2 exams that they did. Because there's a very simple secret. Mtihani wa second term, mid term, iko na Form 3 wewe Form 2. Mtihani yako iko na Form 3 aliyefanya last year. Akienda mid term. It is the same exam. It has a lot of relationship. If you are Form 3, every term exam is with the Form 4 second term. Wakati alikuwa Form 3. So you can get exams from the fellow students. You can get exams from the library. We have increased the number of booklets with exams to 100 now for the exams that you do here. You can get the high flyer. You can get so many. You can go to Mr. Modomi, and I'll also be having exams. I'll be nurturing Form 1 and Form 3, and Mr. Modomi will be nurturing 2 and 3. We are being Form 1 and Form 4. Now, I want to invite the form principals here so that I hand you over the report forms. Tafadhali Mr. Muridi, that is of report forms, so that I finish my business and give the class teachers. Form 4, you can give the Form 3, Madam Muridi, or nani? The form will produce the most exams, or even Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, whichever. Madam Muridi. Yes, you can give the class teachers. We are doing as many exams as possible because 844 is about doing exams. And the more exams you do, the more you don't get panic when you are doing early-term exams or mid-term exams. The second thing I'll be doing in nurturing handwork, or another virtue that I'll be looking forward to, is that each class will come up with a virtue that you'll be nurturing. Each class. Mkubaliane, mtupatie virtue that we want to nurture this virtue as our class. Then we'll be monitoring whether you are following that virtue. If you say your virtue is honesty, then we shall know that there will be no thief in your class. And you train one another in that virtue. So I'll be monitoring whether you are following your virtue in your class. And with those quite a number of remarks, I want to give the patron to give us more direction concerning this moral club.
Mungu ni mwema na kila wakati. I want to take this opportunity to thank our chief principal for sending us for assembly in Nairobi. It was very educative and refreshing, and we were able to learn so much at a personal level and also things that will help the school and the community. And I want to tell you what we'll be doing in this club. One, our club is called Moral Club, and we have objectives. One of the objectives is that we are going to nurture morals and personal growth. We are going to nurture discipline, hard work, and attitude formation. It will help us also possess a secure identity of self. And number 4, demonstrate stewardship of resources and environmental conservation. Now, what is a virtue? Because we're just talking about virtues. A virtue is a behavior showing high moral values. In other words, it is the general quality of being morally good. Other words that we can use is having admirable qualities, basically, or in other words, is virtue is thinking and doing what is right and avoiding what is wrong. So in this club, we will be nurturing thinking right and avoiding what is wrong. And that one will take us to something we call moral excellence. For the Christian, they may call it righteousness. So that is what we are nurturing in this club. Now, you've been told that you'll be working with various people. I work as a patron, and we have other people who are coming in. We have the chief principal, the two deputies, the patron, peace club, the patron, guidance and counseling, and some other board members, and also work with the students. So those are the people who are going to be involved in this area. Now, what are examples of virtues? Examples of virtues are honesty, things like kindness, hard work, respect, obedience, caring, being patient. There are so many virtues, and you can go to the, even in internet will give you more and more virtues. So one of the things that I would expect as a beginning point, all of us have names, and we would wish that you identify one of your names. Once you identify it, you look for a virtue that starts with your initials. For example, we have Kenyon. Kenyon can look for a virtue like kindness. So Kenyon will be kindness, Kenyon. Patrick, maybe can think of nurturing a virtue like perseverance, patient. So we will have patient, Patrick. Someone like Ronald, respect, Ronald. Justice, Joseph. Integrity, Irene. So you can look for a virtue that your initials, which you wish to nurture. Virtue are you nurturing? Depending with your initials and names. So over this weekend, think of a virtue that you wish to nurture, that you wish to develop, so that we can move on well. Then, other activities of this club will be, like you've been told, doing personal exams. They will be rewarded at the end of it all. So the many exams you do, we will be looking at them, and at the end of the term, we will reward the individual students and classes. So we encourage you to do as many exams as possible. This one has worked for the Form 1s. There are Form 1s who did very, very many exams last time. Even any other time, there are activities like the virtues, where Madam Doreen Muni will be the part in charge. And under those virtues, like you've been told, we will put some in classes. And each class is expected, you discuss, you come up with a virtue that you want to nurture. Let me give an example. If it is like, for example, let's say for E, you can decide we are going to nurture excellence. So everybody in that class, you should come up with ways. How do we nurture excellence as a class? Let's say from 4C, you can decide to nurture, let's say diligence. I'm just giving an example. Diligence. Come up with ways. How are you going to nurture that? Another class may decide we are going to nurture respect. So come up with a virtue that you are going to nurture as a class, and then it will be put in the class and you'll be seeing it. But the main issue is that you do it or you nurture it so that it will help you in your academics. The other things, we will have something else that we will call circle time, which we will work with in partnership with Madam Bundi, and we will do it once in a term. I know she's going to give us more about it. That is another activity that we are going to have in this club. Under discipline, those students who have discipline issues, obviously we know that you usually go through a process through the discipline committee. You go through the guidance and counseling. Now, after guidance and counseling, we will invite you in the Moro Club. And we will give you some activities that I'm going to tell you. Each of us has 4 students whom we are going to work with. So we will have first, in the beginning, 28 students whom we are going to start with. But others who want to join, they are going to see me, and the person we are going to choose as the chair of the club, so that you join the club. You will identify your virtue, like I have identified mine as integrity. Now, once I identify it, I'm going to plant a tree. I'm expected, together with the student that I'm working with, I'm expected to nurture the tree. I take care of the tree, and as I take care of the tree, I'm nurturing my virtue. So each of us, the 7 of us, have virtues that we have identified. And we have also planted trees. So we are going to nurture those trees, and as we nurture the tree, we nurture the virtue. So even the students who are going to join us, they will do the same. Each one of you will identify a virtue. You will also plant a tree or a flower. Once you plant it, you are expected to nurture it. And as you nurture it, you also nurture the virtue. If you identify respect, if you identify something like, let's say, forgiveness, maybe you have issues to do with forgiveness. You have somebody you have never forgiven, and you want to nurture that virtue in you. So you are expected that you also nurture what? Forgiveness. So we will attach your tree with your, we will write your name and the virtue that you are nurturing. Now, maybe there are Form 4s who would wish to join, but you'll be leaving the school soon. There will be adoption. We have schools in Kenya too, which have done very well in that area, Buruburu Girls and Roy Boys, and they are doing well. And one of the things that we realized is that both schools improved very highly. Like Roy Boys was the most improved in Nairobi County with 1.2. Meaning, as we nurture our virtues, also it is just to do with, let's say, stealing. We will look for a virtue that is related to, not stealing now, something like honesty, so that you nurture that. And we develop a virtue of honesty in you. So now I want to invite Mr. Mudomi, who is going to demonstrate to us how the planting of trees will be done and how we are going to do it.
Okay, mine is very simple. I'm going to show you how to make others touch what has been in your head and what has been in your heart. Because it's very hard for a person, from outside to say what you are thinking, what you are feeling, but a person can see what you are doing. That means there is a symbol of what is in you. And at this moment, I shall take a demo with the little boys. So the little boys come. I'm presuming that the three boys are trying to demonstrate something, or else there is that virtue in them which they want to nurture. Now, what are these going to do? They shall identify a virtue, and then they shall plant a tree. As that tree life, it means then even the virtue in them is driving. Of which, in case that virtue fully matures, it also means that the tree is slowly maturing. Same case that for this tree to highly drive, it must be maintained. It must be taken care of. It means then the virtue in you, you are taking care of it. For instance, I take honesty. If there was something which was against or else which was compromising the virtue of honesty, as that virtue is done away with, then it is being symbolized by the growth of that tree. Now at this moment, I want us to demonstrate a virtue which one of us shall be nurturing. And that virtue then, just it is for the teacher, but the co-beneficiary, or else the ones who owns the virtue, is the students who are a part in that group. Let's pay some attention. It is just a normal currency, it's getting well. The virtue which we shall be highly governed with, or else above all the virtues which we have, the main virtue, or else the prime virtue which is going to govern our doing, right from now until when we shall fully say that we have achieved everything. I'm going to use the virtue which our principal is going to use in guiding us, the virtue of responsibility. Whereby now, this virtue, yes, it is the principal who is there for it, but the beneficiary, or else the ones who shall be highly nurturing it, it is the first student in his group. Now, the principal is going to nurture the virtue of responsibility. In this virtue, he is going to plant a flower, right? Together with the 4 students. Whereby now, the principal is there to give the guide on the virtue. The students, the 4 students in his group, are going to be symbolizing, or else they shall own that responsibility. Yes, though it is the 4 students who shall be in his group, everybody is supposed, or else it is all upon us to demonstrate, or else to take concern of the virtue of responsibility. That means at the end of it all, both the teachers, both the students, we must all be responsible. Why are we being responsible? Remember, we have a core business here. The moment we are very responsible, we shall be able to do the exams which we are given. When we are responsible, after doing the exams, we shall mark. And therefore, we shall endeavor towards our academic excellence. That is how we shall be doing. The 4 flowers, or else the 4 trees, as you can see in front, we shall start with them, of which by Monday they shall be displayed along the administration block. Then as the days go on, we are going to give every student a tree. In that tree then, you shall have a label like this one, nurturing the virtue that you feel to do best. Then that virtue, you shall plant a tree, you tag it on your tree. That means as you maintain the tree, the virtue is still developing. Are we together? You are going to attach there shall be symbolizing the virtue of honesty. That means as this tree is growing, even your aspect of honesty is still growing. Now there is a question that the majority of you are going to ask me. What can happen in case your tree dries? Right? Or else something happens on it, and then you find that there is no tree there. A tree drying does not mean the virtue of honesty in you has dried. Right? What is being done to a tree which was cut? You can do what? It can sprout. Maybe it was cut. The roots are still there. It can sprout. Or else you can replace. That means in case you realize your tree is drying, that means now it is you. Those who are looking at that tree shall not see the tree which is drying. They shall see the virtue in you, which maybe was honest, which is drying. That means the judgment is not in the tree, it is in the owner of that what? Tree, right? Like now, we must all strive to ensure that our principal's tree does not dry, right? Because then the aspect of the tree drying, that means then the issue of responsibility is what? is drying. Therefore, we must all be very responsible. In case there is a sense that it is drying, then we very fast replace it so that then that virtue is irene, maintained, and therefore we shall be able to achieve our targeted goal. Thank you.
In collaboration with the guidance and counseling. Each class, we will have some officers who are going to help us, who are peer counselors. We're going to identify some who are going to help us in various issues. We're going to identify issues that are affecting us as students. Let's say maybe like in a class, we have issues to do with empathy. A student have issues, nobody to talk to. So we are going to come with like 16 officers. Like we can have in one class an empathy officer, respect officer. We will identify some virtues where we can identify some officers. Now, what will be the work of the officers? The work of the officers will be to deal with the issues affecting the class. If a class is even very disorganized, we can look for someone who can be helping that class, cleanliness officer, so that all of us will work for the common goal of academic excellence and moral values or character. So at this juncture, I want to welcome.
As we continue, we shall start with the principal. The principal to plant his virtue, and I hope that water will be drained. When a principal, you can identify your tree, whichever tree that you prefer, and you plant your virtue on the tree as I do hapo, ndio tumaliza haraka haraka. And then when he comes here, he might say something concerning his moral virtue. We are going to replace those papers with something that is durable. So let's put our hands together as we cry for our chief principal planting responsibility. Makazi. Asante sana bwana principal for that. Our patron can choose any tree and plant the virtue of integrity. Makazi. Integrity. Now, our deputy principal, Mr. Wawero, to plant the virtue of sincerity. Sincerity. Let's have our peace club, our guidance and counseling patron, to plant the tree of what? Peace. Of generosity. Let's have our peace club patron planting the tree of what? Peace. And you can clap for me as I plant my tree of hard work. Equal. And finally, Mr. Monomi, of academic discipline. Now, as we conclude very quickly, I want to invite Madam Munyi to say something concerning your
Mentor. Yes, I'm so glad this morning to see that the department is growing day by day. I've been speaking about mental health high as the head, but the rest, but for now, everybody will be speaking about mental health. You cannot have good virtues. Okay, there is no bad virtues. The bad ones are called vices. So you cannot have virtue without good mental health. So point number one is, for you to have virtues, you must be mentally very okay. Sawa. Now, my main part or my main role in this club, now the Moral Club, is to identify the virtue of the week. The virtue of the week won't begin today. Today's on a Friday, and this virtue won't go up to Friday next week. We shall come up with another one for the following week. Now, the virtue for this week, Nigani. I want us to begin with a very simple and good virtue, that is acceptance. Acceptance. Kukubali. Unasikia wengine wakisema kubali afanye nini? Yaishe. So, why am I saying that we should accept? I'll begin with the core business that we have here, academics. For some of us, or majority of us, the grade that we scored in Form 1 is the same grade that we are scoring in Form 4. The grade you began with in Form 1, ndio mnapata mko Form 4. So accept. Kuna ile ka spirit wewe inakwambia watu tunasema ni kashetani, but it's not the devil that is. Ati you cannot make it. So ulikuwa umepata ka depress. Au unafikiria hata usome anje utafikisha hiyo yenye unafikiria utafikisha Cyprus. There is that kind of spirit yenye wewe inakwambia. Wewe unajiambia, kana kwambia si ulale tu. Sikako. Kana kwambia kadi hesabu unafanya hesabu kidogo. Si hesabu hata ulipata jembe. Unashinda ukingangana kwa nini si ulale tu. Then unaenda mkiambiana ni shetani, hakuna shetani, it is you. Sawa sawa. There is the spirit in you and there is the body in you. Remember Paul alisema nini? The spirit is willing, but the body inafanya nini? Inakataa, sio? So what does that tell you? The spirit controls your body and not the devil. Sawa sawa, msije mkisema ni shetani, it is the spirit, the soul in you that is controlling you. There is much to deal with, but point number 1, acceptance. We are dealing with acceptance as from today up to Friday next week. Have a great time.
Thank you. So our week,
it's another good morning that we are here, safe and sound. Now, you all know about my department, the guidance and counseling department, and I really appreciate those people who come to my office, talk to me, express themselves, and I'm sure by the time you are leaving that office, you leave a new person. Now, I'm happy this club is going to assist us. After you have met the discipline committee and you are sent to my office, you come, we talk, and after talking, you promise me that Mwalimu, I'm going to change. And as you leave my office, nakuanga sure you will change. But now there will be an evidence. I only assume you have changed. But this time round, I hear that you will be planting a tree. And by looking at that tree, nikiona inakauka, then I can tell what we didn't assist you. Now, my role in this club is, one, someone has talked about the circle time. We used to have life skill lessons, which probably they are not there now. We will have that in our circle time. Once in a term, we will be meeting as a class. We have those issues, life experiences that have been bringing us so down. We have been fighting them. We have been struggling to forget some things, and we have not been able. So when we meet as a class, tutakuwa tunashare life experience. This is what I've gone through, both the bad and the good things. When you hear from 2-3 people, if you had a problem, let's say we have this issue of forgiveness. There are those people, they cannot forgive. Now, if you can't forgive, it hurts you more. But when we meet as a class and we talk about it, mtu mmoja anasema someone alinikosea this, and we discuss it. I'm sure we will learn now to forgive others. So we will be having that once in a term. The date has not been decided, but you are going to set the date and it will be communicated to you. Now, another thing is academic families. We used to have them in the past years. Even this year, we will have the Form 4s. Makes history is not what you have achieved on your own, but what you have meant to others. When I always stand here, I tell you, every day ensure that you put a smile into someone's face. And personally, I tried. Now, generosity. How do you assist others? Not only materially, but even academically. Because at the end of the day, we want all to excel academically. That mathematics that you know so well, usikufe nao peke yako, assist someone else. Sawa sawa. be generous with that knowledge that God has given you freely. Sawa sawa. Materially, I want to appreciate you. You have been assisting us and you have been able to reach to most of us. We will even continue doing it. We want to extend it now further. We will be going even to the community, identify those people who need our assistance. Sawa sawa? Yes, we will identify those people. We will assist them. Now, I'm a Catholic, and in Catholic we have so many symbols. And at times people mistake. We have the crucifix, we use the crucifix now. Ukiona ile crucifix we have in the church, it reminds the Christians about the suffering and the death of Christ. Now that you have planted, every time you pass by, inakukumbusha you must be what? You must be honest. So as we do this thing, let's do it with purpose. And I hope it is going to change us, and at the same time, it is going to help us excel academically. Now, I have one announcement I'm going to make. On Monday, we want to collect some information, some data, and it will be very personal. So I'm going to give some questionnaires. That is Monday during the prep time. The information is so personal. So we are requesting that you give us the sincere information that you have asked. We promise that it is going to be confidential. This information is required by the office, and when you give us that information, in one way we are going to use it to assist you. So may God bless you. Let's maintain peace.
It was very necessary. At this juncture, I not invite Mr. Waweru because I hope that on Monday he shall tell us why he chose sincerity as his moral virtue to nurture. So I want to invite our principal so that as he gives his speech, he will also tell us why he chose his value of responsibility. So let us put our hands together as we welcome the principal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mute. Salamu alaikum. Sababu nimeambiwa nizungumze kuhusu my what? My virtue on Monday. I will do exactly that. For today, there is announcement that was forgotten, that tomorrow we have so many visitors that will be coming to our school, and in line with that, we will conduct communals today. Kwa hivyo hakutakuwa na the preps, hakutakuwa na preps. We will conduct communals because much of tomorrow will be occupied by what? By the activity that will be there. Otherwise, have a very, very fruitful weekend, and God bless you. Put your hands together as you welcome the principal.
To all the teachers, the student leaders, the other students, good morning. It is a very nice day. It is a very good day. I'm really humbled by this good work which has been done today. The Deputy Principal Academics has informed you that over the short break, they went with the other two teachers and were trained on morals and integrity. And they have taken us through what is expected. Let us all, in one accord, support that initiative. And I can tell you for sure, it will take us to the next level that we have always wanted to be. Briefly, I want to talk about my responsibility here. I've said time and again that supervision starts where responsibility ends. I'm looking at a situation whereby if we all became responsible in whatever we are doing, whatever and whichever tasks are allocated to us, endeavor to be responsible in whatever you are doing, and you don't see the difference. So with those remarks, once more, I want to thank the team for this very good work and assure the team that we will all support in whichever way.